everyone. My name is Tulani Nkala. We welcome you on Material Broadcasting Corporation. I think around May, Phutheho had a convention which took maybe a week or so. And in that convention, there were some resolutions which were taken or met. Today, we've got Dr. Samukele Hadebe, who will give us an update of what has happened since then. We welcome you, Dr. Hadebe.
Thank you, Mr. Nkala. Thank you, listeners and viewers. Perhaps I start by appreciating MBC for giving us this opportunity, not once, not twice, more than that. So we appreciate these sessions where we share our experiences and updating the public about the work we do, not just about the suffering and the plight of our people, but about their stories of hope as they strive to be masters of their destiny. So I thank you, Mr. Nkala, so much for this opportunity.
You're welcome.
Of all Phutheho stakeholders.
Yeah, you can go ahead and give us an update.
Thank you. As you rightly put it at the beginning, that from 9 to 14 May 2021, we held our first Phutheho convention, and it had a number of resolutions, some with deadlines, timelines, and some open-ended. Since then, a number of developments have happened in the various spheres of the number of resolutions, but perhaps of immediate concern to update the listeners is the issue on the political home or on the work on the political front, because there was a resolution that said there is need for a unified voice politically for our people, for our nation, and that there should be a Congress either held from the 1st of October, but not later than 31st December 2021. So in this update, it's important to announce that from the 17th, that Congress will be held. And on the 18th of December 2021 at White City Youth Arena, there will be an official launch of that political movement. And according to the resolution of May 2021 Phutheho Convention, that Congress must do a number of things, which is what it should do. First, it must give a name to that organization. Secondly, it must adopt a logo and colors of that organization. Thirdly, it must adopt a constitution. Fourthly, it must adopt a policy manifesto. And finally, it must elect leadership. So those are the tasks and targets that were set in the convention, which have to be fulfilled by this Congress. So that is the key to the update. But what is important is that so far, the various stakeholders have been working with a single-minded commitment. Many communities are very happy about this development in a way that what was resolved is being fulfilled. We said we did not want the convention to be a talk show where people come and vent their emotions and feelings and do nothing about it. We said we have to be practical, we have to be serious about the work at hand, and the communities are happy. They are pleased that at least we are progressing in the right direction to fulfill some of the resolutions that were set within the defined timelines. That on its own shows the commitment of our people, their willingness to be the masters of their own destiny. And that is important for us to take note. Thank you.
You mentioned that one of the tasks which was given to the maybe steering committee for this political front was that it supposed to come up with a name. So what's the name of the movement?
Well, I think the Congress starts on the 17th of December. And at the launch on the 18th of December, the official name will also come out because that's a Congress decision. It's not the decision of the steering committee. The steering committee has been mobilizing under a description, which is Freedom Alliance, meaning it's an alliance of willing stakeholders, individually, groups, civics, as well as political organizations. And it's not a political pact of just political parties of electoral pact, but an alliance of willing. So it has used the description of Freedom Alliance because we all aspire for freedom. That is what we are denied. And it's a convergence of views, of actions, of interest, and hence an alliance. Whether eventually the name will relate or will have freedom and will have alliance or what, that I don't know. That is what is going to be determined by the Congress, and I cannot know what will come out because that's what Congress will deliberate. But definitely on the 18th, there will be a name because that is part of the mandate of that Congress.
Okay. You say it is an alliance of the willing. So yes, in the leadership structure that is going to be chosen or elected or selected, is still on this from the 17th to the 19th, isn't it?
Yes.
Are you saying in that leadership, it is going to be inclusive in a manner that it will take from other political parties or from churches, other civil organizations, or this is going to be a new leadership with people from or who just belong to this alliance?
Without really sounding like I'm exaggerating, because it's just a week to go. For the first time, our people will see a combination, the broadest representation of our people across gender, across age, across professions, across our geographical diversity, and across the political plurality that is found. That I can promise because those who have been steering this work came from across the board. And that I hope come the 18th of December, God willing, when the leadership is unveiled, people would see how broad. I don't think we've had such a broad spectrum of activists converging for a single agenda, that of unifying our efforts. And that we can really promise is already there. The people come from across the board in a very exciting manner, I should say, because there is no area that can say it won't be found to be represented. No group can say it's not going to be found. But above all, it is not an end. It's just a process towards an end. Many more must come, they will join, because this is our home, all of us. So we are saying that diversity, that openness, that transparency, that call for unity, how genuine it is. Some will see it when it happens to say, so these men and women were genuine, that they are coming together to build a home for us all. So we can say, so far, we are happy about the diversity. It's the best thing that has ever happened. That I can confirm.
Okay. So from what you are telling me, am I correct to assume that the leadership is already there? What remains is for it to be unveiled in the Congress.
I should say part of the leadership is there. You'll recall that the way such a movement is structured, leadership does not come from the top. Leadership must come from the grassroots. So when we talk of leadership, you are talking about leaders from branch level, from district level, from provincial level, from the various sectors, the youth, women, and all sorts of things. You cannot unveil all those leaders at one go. There are processes, electoral processes, which are yet to take place, and they will be announced as time goes to say, at what point do we get this, at what point to go. But now, when the movement has been launched, obvious, there will be leadership that has been steering the work up to now, and our people will appreciate and understand that at a certain point, some people had to take the work forward, but there will come a time when in our totality, we also have a voice as to confirm, elect our leaders as we move on, because whoever is put in charge now doesn't mean it will be there forever. So it means leadership is a relay. So for now, I think we are set, but as the movement is brought, there are obviously a number of aspects that need to be done as we move forward. So no one must feel, I wasn't there to choose leadership. That has been planned. Those processes are coming, so that we are all involved in really ensuring that the leadership come from the people. But for now, for the work that has been happening, we have had runners, we have had organizers, we have had the steering committee, and they have done a splendid job. We must really commend them.
Okay, so in the Congress, you will unveil the top leadership.
Yes, the National Executive Committee shall be unveiled.
How big is the National Executive Committee?
So far, it will be 100 men and women strong.
Wow, that's a big one.
We are a big nation. We are all over. Some are there in UK, some are in US, some are in Australia, some are in Matebeleland, some are in Midland, some are in wherever. So we are impressive, and this is not leadership to sit in offices and enjoy being given praises. These are workers. These are revolutionaries. These are people who are pushing for better lives for us all and for the generations to come. Therefore, we are as broad as we come. So that should show how serious we are. And as I say, that you will see the youth, the men and the women of all ages, of all hues, of all beliefs, of all experiences, and you will have confidence when you see them that this is exactly what we're dreaming and what we're aspiring and what we're praying for. And God willing, let's all wait for the Congress.
Okay, I will wait for the Congress, but don't say it very loud. Who is the leader? Who is the president?
Actually, one thing perhaps I should have outlined is that we don't have that title of the president. We have a national leader, we have a deputy national leader, we have a chairperson with the two deputy chairpersons. You know, we are structured different. But of course, it's still going to Congress. People might also change the way the nomenclature, the terms, you know, because even the constitution is yet to be confirmed, but tentatively, that is how the steering committee has worked. I cannot say who is the president because that will come from the people, but what I can tell you is that they are candidates for national leader. And because the candidates did not volunteer to contest, they were nominated. One of them is this man talking to you. He is also a candidate. The other candidate is the Honorable Moses Mzila.
Okay.
The other candidate is Honorable Love Momoyo.
All
The
right.
other candidate is Pastor Joshua Mhambi. So that is, those are the candidates for the national leader. But we also have candidates for deputy national leader, which is more exciting, candidates for secretary general. There are so many. So this shows you the men and women who are part of, you know, this tapestry, this mosaic, where the people will choose from.
Okay. I remember last time when we had a discussion of this nature, because the resolution was or had just been made at that time. So you were not sure in terms of defining your ideology, your political positioning. Now that this steering committee has been working so hard, what have they come up with? What are their proposals?
Perhaps you will remember also how this thing came about. The resolution said it gave these options. The first option was, if amongst our many parties that already exist, if there is one party that is willing to adopt our Freedom Charter and all our resolutions, let's all go and congregate under that party, provided it holds Congress so that we choose leadership that is inclusive. That was the first choice. And unfortunately, there was no party that came up and said, we think we can house and take up that task. Then option number 2 was, perhaps we can join 1, 2, or 3 or 4 parties that will agree to adopt our Freedom Charter, which is our key guiding document, and adopt the resolution that we took, but finally hold an elective Congress so that we choose an inclusive leadership. Again, we could not get that combination of parties that were willing to do that. Then the third option was to say, then we create a willing alliance of individuals, of groups, of civics, of churches, and of political parties who are willing to be part of this political whole. And that is exactly what has happened. So if you go back and look at our Freedom Charter, it gives us our character. It defines where we come from. It defines our aspiration. It reinforces our 3 founding pillars, which is access to power, access to prosperity, and access to justice. And within those pillars, we have subdivisions of the things that we feel as a people we aspire or hope to achieve, because those are the things that our people are denied currently, that displaces our people from their land of birth, that dispossesses them economically, that they suffer linguistic injustice, cultural injustice, and including the unresolved justice for genocide victims and survivors. So we have that broad agenda, and that broad agenda, which derives from the history and the current experiences and our hopes and the vision for the future, is where we are anchored. Now, whether some amongst us are liberals, some are conservatives, some are left, you know, I am on the left, that becomes besides the point. What is important is that we call ourselves freedom fighters because it's freedom that we like. We say ours is a liberation movement because we are an oppressed people. Whether others say otherwise is something else. We experience it. We experience joblessness. We experience poverty. We experience ethnic, cultural discrimination. We experience indignity and humiliation. So That is the thrust. People should understand that ours is a call to say, we have tried many, many, many things individually and in small groups, and with little success, in spite of trying. So the coming of together to us is a very important imperative. But it's not just the coming of together to enjoy being together. It's coming together in order to drive our freedom agenda.
Yes, no, I really appreciate the passion and the vision that you are giving right now. However, I'm still not clear in terms of your positioning, in terms of whether you are federalist, devolutionist, secessionist. Where do you place the movement?
Well, those are not actually ideological positions. When we say we want freedom, and our freedom charter clearly says we want and we aspire for self-determination, I don't think anyone can ask, what more do we want? Self-determination. Simple. We want self-determination. We are saying we want the destiny, our own destiny, to be in our hands. We don't want to be ruled well. No one has ruled us well, and we don't want to aspire to be ruled well. We want to rule ourselves. Simple. All people who are free in the world, they manage their affairs. We can't be crying that we are unemployed. We want to be our employers, but we can't employ ourselves when we have no economic space, when we cannot mine in our own country, when we cannot run anything. We are not running anything in Machiavelli, as a matter of fact. So ours is a liberation ethos. That's a fact. And the ultimate, what a people like us need is self-determination. And we put it very clear in our freedom charter. So how you want to the geography to look like, some people worry about geography, some people want to worry about the system of either local or national government. To me, that is beside the point. The thing is, we want self-determination. Then you can now worry about how geographically you distribute the powers of a mayor or a governor or whatever. Those to me are small things. They are things that come when everything has been settled, but we have fundamental issues to address as a people, because it's a fact. We are a dying culture. And we can't sit there idly and take it that, well, it's natural. That's how God created things. No, it's man-made, and it must be reversed by our human action. And this is what this movement has set out to do. And this is what our communities have asked us to do. Whether we achieve it today, tomorrow, or by our grandchildren, at least we have defined the route towards self-determination. We are not begging it from anyone. We will achieve it with our sweat and tears and the blood of our fathers and mothers who actually sacrificed for our country. They were not fighting for other people to live comfortable and displace us from our homes. They were fighting for us to enjoy the benefits of their sweat. So what we want, we are not begging, is what we are entitled to as a people, and we've worked for it, and we want to continue to work for it. Even if it means another sacrifice, our people must be ready for it.
Yeah, okay, no, thanks very much for that. In the Congress, or at the Congress, what should people expect?
At the Congress, of course, I know the generality of the people will expect the unveiling of the national executive, those whom they will send to drive the agenda of building structures of their movement and take the message throughout our communities. That is important. But of course, it will be unveiling the name of the movement, its colors, its logo, its manifesto and all the like, depending on what the outcome would be from the discussions. There will be an open session on the 18th where members of the public will come and hear whatever resolutions, but the rest of the things will be done by the delegates in close, like in any Congress. You don't open everything to everyone, but the 18th is what will be open to members of the public, including the media, Mr. Nkala.
Okay. No, I think you have given us your update. But if you've got some closing remarks that you would like to share with the people, that would be good.
First of all, may I thank you for this opportunity and take the opportunity to thank all the members of the steering committee and all those who have been working to make sure we get this far in fulfilling the resolutions that we agreed and set these targets in May at our Phutheho. So we can say, so far, everything is on course, and let's continue pushing hard, if not for ourselves, but for the future generations. By coming together, there are some who thought we cannot come together, and they will be shocked on the 18th to see that those they thought don't even speak to one another, that we are together as brothers and sisters for the love of our country and our people. And together, we've shown that we can make it. We believe the journey ahead is less than what we have already traveled this far. So let's come together and finish up what we started as a people together. I thank you all.
Okay, that was Dr. Samukele Hadebe. Siyabonga kakhulu, silifisela inhlanhla kungqungquthela yena. Esukela mhla ka-17 isiya mhla ka-19. Uthe White Seat Youth Arena?
Yes, on the 18th, White Seat Youth Arena.
Oh, just on the 18th?
Yes, no, the others are closed. Okay. So,
that's fine, yeah.
Yes, Youth Arena.
Yeah, I know, no, sibongile kakhulu Baba Hadebe. Siyathemba ukuthi ngemva kwe-Congress maybe sokwazi sithola ithuba ukuthi sibuye sixoxe nani sizwe ukuthi kuhambe njani.
Hayi, siyabonga.
All right. Sibongile kakhulu.